Welcome back, dreamers. Why did it do that? Hi, hope you're doing well. It is a couple days past Christmas, but we are going to read one more book. If you saw my other one, the night before Christmas. This is literally taken right after that video, but you didn't hear it from me. We're gonna read a book that is so stupid and funny. And I'm hoping to find some more jokes in this book, because I haven't read it in a minute, so I actually I have no idea what it says in this book. But I don't know if you're familiar with Build-A-Bear. I used to play Build-A-Bearville all the time. They used to have, like, a thing, just like Webkins. And it's called Holly and Hal Moose, Our Uplifting Christmas Adventure. So come along while we read this book, and hopefully it's entertaining. So, girls, it is getting hot. I'm sitting by the radiator. We are steaming up. Okay, Holly and Hal Moose. I have Hal. My sister has Holly somewhere, but I have Hal. They made bears of them. I don't think they still make them, but we should go next year and see if they do. But he's in there. I should have pulled him out, but oh well. Oh, there are chapters. Gross, it's kind of long. There are 30 pages to this book. Girl, I did not think this through at all. We're gonna read the first chapter. And then I'm going to leave it there. And if you want to know what happens, you let me know. But I doubt any of you are going to be entertained by this video enough to actually want to know what happens. Chapter 1, A Bad Day Gets Worse. Holly Moose was not feeling jolly, not one bit. Oh, she probably has corona. She was walking home from school. She got it from school. This last day before the Christmas holiday, her booted hooves scuffing in the slushy snow on the sidewalk. The heady scent of pine was in the air from the fresh-cut trees in the Christmas tree lot on the corner, and festive-colored lights were twinkling along the roofline of every building on Main Street. But none of these things lifted Holly's spirit. She looked up and narrowed her eyes. The cause of her unhappiness and constant annoyance was just up ahead, prancing through the snow, her little brother, Hal. Little? Ha! He was a full year younger than her, but a head plus antlers taller. A big moose favoring their very tundra, statuesque dad. Holly was petite, favoring their mother, whose ancestors came from the taiga pine forests up north, and she was thankful for that. There he was, just up ahead, snorting, pawing at the snow, pretending to ready himself for takeoff as if he were one of Santa's reindeer. I shit you not, this is literally me and my sister. Deadass. "You're a moose, you big lug," she shouted. M-O-O-S-E. But Hal just grinned back at her, then leapt for the sky and promptly tumbled head over heels into a snowbank. He came up laughing, shaking the snow off his coat, looking like a crazy moose. A big one. That's Holly, everyone. Clap for Holly. She's sad. Normally, Holly would just walk down another block, pretending she didn't know him from Adam Antelope, but today was an especially bad day. "You need to watch your brother this afternoon, Holly," her mother had called to her this morning as she darted from the school bus. I won't be home from work until nearly supper time, and you know Dad's out of town until tomorrow." "But Mom!" she had wailed, but the bus pulled up and the front door had already shut. That was when what should have been one of the very best days of the year started to go very, very wrong. There is Hal, everyone. Holly watched Hal running up ahead and found she was feeling more and more sorry for herself. Any other day she would be amused by his antics, but not today. This afternoon was Eliza's holiday party, and every single moose she knew had been invited and would attend. Holly was Eliza's best friend, so of course Holly should be there. She had thought about little else for weeks. Eliza and her father had snow-plowed a maze through the snowdrifts in their backyard, and there was a small stage under the patio for dancing. And oh yes, there was going to be a dance contest. I've won a dance contest before with my ex-best friend. The best dance routine to the song Jingle Bell Rock would receive a gift certificate to the Moose Mall Emporium. Come on, Mean Girls. Holly had been practicing her dance for what seemed like forever. Every night after she finished her homework, she would rehearse in front of the mirror. She hadn't even told Eliza. She wanted her win to come as a surprise. Ah, well, that dream is over, she thought sadly. Had her mother forgotten about the party? How could she have asked her to watch Hal today of all days? Her mother had smiled at her when she came out of her room this morning. "You look so nice, honey," she had said as she bent to kiss her forelock. Ew, why is it called a forelock? Well, of course she did. She had spent an extra half hour getting ready. She had dressed in her best parka with the faux fur cuffs and collar. She had carefully used her mother's curling iron to add body and wave to her tuft. It was the last day of school before Christmas vacation. It was the day of Eliza's holiday party. Holly looked fabulous. And all she had to look forward to was watching her little brother. Big sigh. Why, yes. I'll watch your brother Holly, the 4 little words that repeatedly ruined my life, she thought. She was so lost in thought she didn't even see Hal as he circled behind her and enveloped her in a bear hug, shaking snow from his coat like a furry dog. "Harold!" which is what she called Hal when she was especially frustrating. "You're getting me all wet." But he just laughed. Holly, do you see it? Do you see it? I feel like that's a better... There we go. Got it. Fix it. Holly looked up in the direction his gloved hoof was pointing. It was faint but visible, a green glow on the horizon to the north. Then, as she watched, what looked like green and red flames seemed to swirl up from beyond the edge of the earth, twist, dive, and rise up again. Though she had seen it before, the glorious display astonished her, even the mood she was in. As she watched, blue and violet joined the swirling red and green. "Holly, I know what that is." She turned away from the light show and looked into the eager face of her brother. "Of course you do. It's the Aurora Borealis, the Northern Lights. We've seen it before and we've learned about it in school. Solar winds interact with the edge of the Earth's magnetic field." "No, I mean, I know what that is. I know that's what it is, but it's Christmas time." She glared at him, stamping her hoof. "I know that." But he clung to her arm, jumping up and down, his antlers nearly poking her in the eye. "The Northern Lights only come out in the fall and the spring. This is winter." Holly looked at him, then back at the dramatic light display on the horizon. "Aurora Borealis is usually only visible between September and October, or March and April," she said. "That doesn't mean it's never visible any other time." But Hal was so excited he started dancing around her. "That's the way to the North Pole." Holly sighed, one of her deep, exasperated sighs. "Oh, yeah." "Well, of course it is. Those are the Northern Lights. What other direction would it be in but north, toward the North Pole?" He had thrown his backpack on the ground and was pawing through the contents, spilling all of his belongings, books, pencils, paper, an apple, and a chewed eraser, onto the damp sidewalk. "What are you doing? Get up. Your knees are getting wet." He stood up and handed her a small book faded with use and age. "Look at this." He pointed at a page and she saw a hand-colored drawing of the very same lights. "Just read this part, okay? Please?" She frowned at him, not in the mood to play along, but she read the few lines aloud. Let's just make sure. Okay, there we go. "Oh no, I didn't even show you the picture. Look how cute." Honestly, how's this stood? Come on. "When the Northern Lights appear within 12 days of Christmas, they are not caused by any of the phenomena we have come to associate with Aurora Borealis, but are the result of the energy emitted from Santa's workshop at the North Pole as the elves rush to finish their toy manufacturing in time for Christmas Eve delivery." Holly gave her little brother a confused look, but read the last bit anyway. "This is a magic time when wishes are granted and secrets are revealed. Only during this rare occurrence is the road to the North Pole unveiled to the determined seeker." She looked up and handed him back his little book. "That's just silly. There's a ton of folklore about those lights." But Hal didn't want to hear any of that. He just ran ahead shouting, "Santa's just up there!" Holly sighed yet again. "Oh." Then she heard the music. Softly but distinctly, the rousing chords of her favorite holiday song, Jingle Bell Rock. The sound was coming from Eliza's house, just around the corner. Just a peek at the party, she thought, then I'll head home. She looked up and saw Hal half a block ahead on his way toward their house, so she darted around the corner and hid behind the tree in old Mr. Anderson's yard, where she could best get a glimpse of Eliza's house without being seen. The party was in full swing. She saw her friends through the front windows, laughing, talking, and dancing. In the backyard, she saw the tips of antlers just above the snowdrifts as maze-goers found their way, and got lost again. They are having such a wonderful time, thought Holly. But she was a responsible girl, so she turned around and headed home. I was at the walkway to her house that she had the first inkling that something was wrong. There was a light covering of snow up the walkway, across the grass, and along the driveway. But no hoof prints leading up to the house. The house was dark. The house key was still under the pot on the porch, and there was no sign of Hal. She turned and looked north. There they were, Hal's familiar hoof prints in the snow, heading up the sidewalk, beyond the paved streets, and onto the dirt road, then into the open fields and deep into the snow toward the woods, and straight into the swirling mists of the full-blown aurora borealis. She didn't hesitate. New boots and all, Holly plunged into the snow, following her little brother's tracks. "Hal!" she cried, but her voice was carried away by the wind. "Hal!" And then she, too, was gone. There's a little picture of his little hooves in the ground. And that is all I'm going to read. Maybe I'll read the rest of the book next year. There's 10 chapters. Chapter 10 is 1 page. And they're very small. But there's still 55 pages, and this is page 10. So it's kind of long. But if you wanna know the rest of it, because I don't even think they sell this book anywhere else, you let me know. I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember, it all starts with an idea. I can do more readings of something, I guess, if you would like. I love you. Remember, it all starts with an idea. Dream big, guys.